saying if you unmute and you yell at a dog or you yell at a cat, you yell at a child or a partner, that might be in the recording. So just be careful what happens when you unmute, but otherwise, I'll be in the recording and you won't. So good. We've just talked about Flash's development, how it was developed by an EMDR therapist named Phil Manfield as a way to very quickly take some heat out of difficult memories so that you could go into that memory and resolve it in EMDR therapy or whatever other transformational trauma therapy that you have in your toolbox. Okay. Flash itself, though, is non-intuitive, and that's a key to its efficacy. It involves two non-intuitive elements. The first is we look at a memory lightning fast. And whatever you think by lightning fast, that's probably too slow. Okay, we look at a memory. You don't wait until the horse kicks you, right? You wait until the beginning of the flinching is starting. Does that make sense? So if in the memory, your father's like, you're so stupid, we're just getting one syllable, one piece, one tiny frame. That's what we're getting. And we're going to talk about why. Okay. The other thing we do is that we immediately pivot and engage in something pleasant. It's a strange thing. You don't normally touch trauma and then immediately engage in something pleasant. So that's what we're doing. We're activating a tiny, tiny piece of a bad memory, bringing it into working memory, pushing it out of awareness, and then giving you back-to-back experiences that demonstrate that little piece of the memory that you just brought into working memory isn't happening right here because it's not happening anywhere in your nervous system. Do you know what is happening in your nervous system? Puppies on YouTube videos or kittens play fighting each other, right? Or bubbly hot pizzas coming out of the oven if you're into pizza, right? Or whatever it is that you're into. And that's what we're doing over and over and over. Okay? So this combination of microactivation combined with microactivation combined with a large number of pleasant experiences somehow shifts each little bitty tiny piece of that memory that we touch. And then the memory adds up to the memory. It's almost like, this is a metaphor I use. Imagine this is the memory. Where's this memory living? It's in your brain where trauma is. But we're only bringing a tiny, tiny piece of it into awareness at a time. Where's the rest of the memory? It's in your brain. It's not on fire. It's not in your body. See, so what we're doing is we're bringing a bean of the bean bag at a time and processing it. And then all of those beans add up to a fully processed memory. All of those scenes or all of those aspects or all of those emotions add up on the other end to a fully processed memory. And Flash lets you do that, ideally, without distress. Or with the distress that you might feel if you're touching a hot skillet with a wet finger for a millisecond. Right? You feel the heat, but it doesn't kick you in the chest like a horse. So that is one of the most difficult things to teach, especially EMDR therapists who are attached to things moving through your body. So let's get some of the bad news out of the way first. If you thought Flash was like EMDR light, it's not. It's not like an orange and a mandarin orange. It's like an orange and a kitten, right? They're completely different things. And what you need to do one well is going to mess up the other. right? So your intuition related to Flash, as an EMDR therapist, you have to kind of just say, okay, this is completely different. Because what you need to do Flash well will mess EMDR up, and what you need to do EMDR well will mess Flash up. Okay. So the point and the reason that we're here, the reason I'm like been doing these trainings is that Flash fully adaptively resolves a memory when you do it well, nearly every freaking time. With people with really severe trauma, with people who are often phobic of slowing down, being present, and noticing, and with people who have absolutely no adaptive information. And adaptive information is a requirement to do EMDR therapy. As a matter of fact, as an EMDR therapist, I'm using Flash to develop the very adaptive information that I'm going to use or need in EMDR down the road. Okay, so good. The core steps are on page 4 of this version of Flash. There are many versions of Flash. This is just one. The core steps are on page 4. Does anyone need the treatment guide? Do I need to put it in chat, or do you have it? You need it?
That'd be
Okay.
great. Thanks.
I'll put it in chat. Give me a second. Page 4. All right. Step 1, we're going to develop a container. Why? Because every bean, every little bitty tiny piece of the memory that we bring into working memory, we're sending away from us. Why? Because I need all of awareness to be available to your pleasant scene. And if the trauma, a piece of the trauma is sitting in awareness, it's going to shape your experience. And we'll talk about why that's a problem. So we don't just activate trauma and then pivot to a pleasant scene in this version of Flash, because if there's activation from the memory, it's going to junk up your calm scene. Okay, so we're doing really rapid task switching. Think about the memory really, really quickly, push it away, be in your calm scene. Think about the memory really, really quickly, push it away, be in your calm scene. We're doing that. Okay, so if we're pushing not the memory, remember that the memory is not in working memory. What's in the memory? Only a little piece of it, a single syllable, a single aspect, a single emotional of it isn't working memory. And we're pushing that away. We need to develop a container. You can also do this, right? Do y'all mind copying me? Just do this. Do you know what that does? It's a motor movement designed to send the message. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing what else it connects to. It's moving away from me. Okay. I'm not ruminating about it. I'm not noticing it in my belly. There's no noticing in this version of Flash. I joke. I told a friend. They mentioned crying. I said, I don't want to do Flash. I might cry. I'm like, there's no crying in Flash, and that's not true. There might be crying if grief comes up, but other than that, there's no crying in Flash, right? Those whatever would build to become those tears that needs to be in your container, moving away from you. And even as I say that, it's like, Tom, what if I have a memory that I just feel like I need to feel, right? Do you have memory? Let me put it this way. Do you have memories that if I could tell you magically, we can resolve that memory, but you're not going to be able to get mad about it? Are there parts of you that are like, darn it, I want to get mad. I need to catharsis this. I need to feel it. That's not what Flash is for. Does that make sense? Flash is for memories that we need out of us that don't need to move through your viscera to move out of you. Okay? Good. So again, the stress Each little bitty tiny piece of distress we're going to put in a container and send away. If that's the case, we need to develop a container. Okay. You're going to spend almost all of your time in the calm scene. Okay. Maybe we develop it. That's what we do in step two. We develop the calm scene. What that is, I don't want your calm scene to be imaginary. Why? Because we're going in and out of it endlessly. Okay, you'll see, I'm only giving you 5 seconds to be in your calm scene. I don't want you to have to imagine the waves, imagine the beach, imagine the seagulls, imagine the way the sun feels on your skin. There's not time to do that. Let's find a YouTube video that's funny, engaging, silly, beautiful, cute, lovely, astonishing, any of those, or induces hunger, or just makes you burst out laughing. And again, what are some things? Let's put in chat. What are some things that if you were in a business meeting and looked at your phone and it was accidentally playing, what are some things that are so funny that you couldn't not laugh out loud? Golden Girls, cats, good. Silly cats, good. Have y'all seen the dogs that they dress up in costumes with like their little waiter? They're carrying champagne bottles, the little chihuahuas with champagne bottles. Yeah. Office memes, babies laughing at rip paper. Yeah, babies laughing is great. The video can have sound. Absolutely. It's an experience. We want it to have sound, right? Yeah, good. Basset Hound puppies, good. And then some people will be like, mini ponies. They'll say, you know what, Tom, I hate people. I'm like, okay, there are tens of billions of videos that don't have people in them. Right? Well, I don't like anything. I'm like, that's not true. I know you like things clean. We can watch power washing videos where people are just making a dirty sidewalk clean. That works just fine. Okay. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Even the video, y'all know the AI baby videos where they talk crap about grown-ups? Those are so, I mean, my goodness, they're going to be stale in no time, but they're just so freaking funny, right? So whatever it is, your favorite highlight clips from The Office, highlight clips from Parks and Rec, highlight clips from Schitt's Creek, highlight clips from whatever your favorite show is, can work. It can't be reading. Do you know why? We're going to get out Anna Karenina. Happy families are all alike. Blink. No, it's too slow, right? We need something that's engaging. And it can't just be, how in the beginning of The Office, Pam and Jim are just kind of looking at each other for like 50 minutes or trying not to look at each other. That might be a little too slow for some people. We may need highlight clips. We may need your favorite comedian's YouTube. By imaginary, what I mean is the calm scene or safe space in EMDR therapy is an imaginary scene that you imagine in your brain. What I'm talking about is you with your actual eyes looking at an actual YouTube video playing on a screen that's in front of you. Okay. So it's a calm scene that's been outsourced to YouTube that you're just watching. Okay. Good. There are other resources that we do in step one and step two. In step one, we develop the container. We also develop a resource called ShopVac, where we quickly vacuum distress out of the body. If you're a somatic practitioner, you may be like, Tom, are you kidding me? I'm a somatic practitioner, right? But there's no body activation that we're noticing in Flash. Body activation from that memory is overactivation. And that activation needs to be in your container moving away from you, even if it was just a moment ago in your body. Okay. We'll talk about why. The other resource that we do that fills out the four resources form like the walls of our chimney, that are four walls of our chimney that allow us to do this work safely. The other resource that we have is sensory grounding. It's just not safe to do trauma work without good grounding skills in place. And as you'll see, even when you just thinking about the memory, with clients with complex trauma, the memory might grab you and pull you in it. And in that case, we need grounding. Right? Good. So those are our four resources that are developed in step 1 and step 2. After that, we're ready to do trauma work. And it starts with step 3. Step 3 is not phase 3 EMDR therapy. You know what happens in phase 3 EMDR therapy? I get my match and I set my client's nervous system on fire. That's not what we're doing in step 3 in this version of Flash. What we're doing is we're selecting the memory that is in your brain, but we're not trying to bring it into working memory. We're going to select the memory, but we're not trying to set it on fire. Okay? The four resources are, question in chat, the four resources are container, shop vac, which is our vacuum resource, calm scene, and grounding. Okay, good. Step 3, we are selecting the memory, but we're not activating it. So how the heck do you do that? Number 1, you invite them not to tell you a trauma narrative. Because if they're telling you a trauma narrative, we're trying to bring a bean of this in at a time. And how much of a trauma narrative do they start to tell you before the whole thing's in working memory? It doesn't take much. So what I'm going to say is, you can line up targets in a prior session easily. Okay. Or I may say, Janet, the memory you talked about wanting to work on at the end of last session, is that the memory you want to target today? Yeah, do all parts of you think working on that memory is a good idea? Check. Yeah, good. Good. Just push it out of your awareness, blank it out, look at a blank ceiling or wall if you need to. Let me know when it's gone. Do you see what we just did there? We pointed, but I didn't have them activate it at all. Okay? What I'm going to ask you and what you can ask your client is there a memory you want to work on today? Is it an individual memory that happened at a particular place and time? And do all parts of you think working on that memory is a good idea today? And if yes, push it out of your awareness, look at a blank wall or ceiling, let me know when it's gone. Good. That's step 3. Unless we're negotiating with parts, right? And yeah, we need a little bit of a parts exploration. And I begin that with, do you ever want to go somewhere and not want to go at the same time? What does that mean? That makes no sense if we're only one piece. So when I say check with your parts, I'm saying, is there a part of you that might want to do this work? And is there a part of you that might be afraid or not want to do this work? And I want to hear from all parts of you related to consent for what we do in session. I want to make sure that all parts of you think working in this territory is a good idea today and working in this way. Okay? And guess what? If a part says no, that's a gift. If a part says no, that's a gift. Do you know why? Because I want to know about that before we start rather than 8 minutes in. Okay? And we're going to find a memory that all parts of you can consent to work on today. And if there's no memory where your parts can consent to work today, then we're going to do something else today. Does that make sense? We're not attached to any of this. Yeah. So, okay. Step 3, select the memory. Step 4, load up your calm scene. Press play on YouTube. Okay. Okay. Press play on YouTube. And then you know what the client is doing? They're just watching their video. And if it's a beach, you're just pretending that you're there. Right? And you're doing this for 30 seconds at a time, except, this is where things get a little weird, except every 5 seconds, the therapist says blink. And when the therapist says blink, you are watching your video and you can blink for about half a second. That looks like this, right? Blink. Or you can blink a couple of times quickly. Blink, blink. You can blink 3 times. Blink, blink, blink. You can blink 4 times. I don't recommend it. Why'd you name this 4 blinks flash? It's a long story. You got to name something, something. But I don't mean to imply that 4 blinks are better than 3 or 2 or 1. Okay. So you just blink, blink, and right. And then you go right back into your video. What the heck is going on here? I'm going to say this several different ways because it's super important. What the blinks do is they split a 30-second exposure to your pleasant scene into 6 individual 5-second exposures. Okay? Imagine you're looking at me. What the blinks do is blank me out, and now you have a new exposure. Blank it out, and now you have a new exposure. Okay? So if that's what we're doing, why do we have to blink? You don't. If you're watching a YouTube video, you know what you can do? You can look at a doorknob across the room and then turn back and look at me. It's equivalent to a blink. Okay? The blinks split a 30-second calm scene and make it 6 5-second calm scenes. Okay? Sensible? We haven't explained why we do that. That's coming next, but I want you to understand what the blinks are purposefully, what they're doing. You can also look down, tap your legs once or twice or 2 times or whatever. Tap your legs, tap, tap. That also disrupts your focus on your pleasant scene, and then you go back into your pleasant scene. Okay, the blinks are an attentional disruption to generate a new exposure. Okay. And then after we do that, do you know what we do? We're going to check the memory lightning fast. Language for that in step 5 is lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. Let me know when it's gone. Okay. So the way we manage distress and only get a little piece is by managing time. Lightning fast. Okay. So fast that in the memory, you're just like, it's something, I don't even know what it is. I can't even give, it's just, and that goes into your container and it goes far, far away. Okay. It can be any sense. It can be any emotion. It can be a thought. We may have to imagine writing the thought down and then put the thought in our container. Okay. And then after we get a little bitty tiny bean out of the bean bag, push it out of awareness, do our calm scene with blinks. After we activate it, you know what we do? Go back to step 4, calm scene with blinks. Every single time, this is just the way to keep it in your mind straight. Every single time that we look at the memory, lightning fast, whatever it is, we catch it, contain it. And every single time after we do that, we immediately do a round of calm scene with blinks. So we're in a step 5, step 4 loop for most of the session. Lightly activate container, calm scene blinks. Lightly activate container, calm scene blinks. Or microactivate container, calm scene blinks over and over and over. And we do this until the client says, we say, lightning fast, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. And the client says, I'm having a hard time finding it. And then you know what we do? Then we walk into the room. We've been like just peeking and peeking and peeking at that memory. Now we have the door open, and it's like Exorcist or Poltergeist or whatever it is in the 80s. Remember when she had that crap flying around her room? And it's almost like the room is settled. And now we're going to walk in and we're going to look under the cushions and we're going to look behind the couch, and he's still alive. Ah, we catch it, contain it, send it far away, right? There's always debris in step six. And step six is where you're playing the video of the bad memory from the very first frame. And the moment the first piece of distress comes, we stop, catch it, contain it, send it far away, do our calm scene with blinks, and then we come back. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? Yes, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. Let me know when it's gone. Calm scene, blink, 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 blink. How did that go? Good. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? No. Play it forward. Let me know when you find the next piece of distress. Catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. Let me know when it's gone. Good. Calm scene, blink, 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 blink. How did that go? Good. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? No. Play it forward. I just got to the end of the memory. Okay, good. Turn up your sensitivity, go back, play it again, and let me know when you find the first piece of distress. I can't find it. Try it again. Nope, there's no distress. You can play the memory from beginning to end and there's no distress. In this version of Flash, we're done. Okay, there's about to be a new version where we do cool stuff with the positive stuff that's come, but in this current version, um, that memory's resolved, and that memory's likely to stay resolved forever. Also, at that moment, do you know what's happened? You can ask yourself, when we practice this in about an hour and a half, you ask yourself, is there something I believe more positively about myself related to that memory? And the answer is usually 98% of the time, there's going to be a yes. What is it? They're going to be able to tell you. And you say, do you believe that a small amount, a medium amount, or a large amount? They're going to tell you they believe it a large amount. Do you know what that means? That means that memory's fully resolved. Do you know what that means? That means that memory has been reprocessed. If it has shifted, not only subsequent exposures to it, but if that memory has shifted such that how you think about yourself in the world has shifted dramatically in an adaptive direction, that is reprocessing. Okay? It's no longer controversial to suggest that Flash resolves memories fully. Right? Every major trainer says that now. Okay? That Flash might fully resolve memories. Okay? And when it does, how you think about yourself in the world will change. Why? Because that's what happens when we heal. And if you're like, I thought only EMDR shifted cognitions. No, EMDR is a good way to do healing. Healing causes that. Healing causes how you think about yourself in the world to change and update. Okay, EMDR causes generalization. So does Flash. EMDR probably causes more generalization than Flash, but I don't care because I'm probably doing Flash with a client that isn't prepared to do EMDR therapy. As a matter of fact, I'd probably be happy to do Flash and resolve a memory even if it didn't generalize, but it does. So what generalization means, for those of you that are not EMDR trained, what generalization means is that when you resolve a representative memory, lots of other memories resolve that you don't have to touch. They resolve as a byproduct of the learning that happened in the resolution of this one. Okay. That is a super turbo view of Flash. This version of Flash, we're about to walk through it again slower. But before we do that, we're going to have to talk a little bit about working mechanism because that's the coolest part of this. Good. What questions do you have procedurally about this version of Flash? Feel free to unmute or you can put in chat.
So one question that I had, which I have a feeling you might go more into detail into it, but when you say develop a container, there's just like a big question mark. Like, how do we develop a container? What is
Yeah.
I understand the purpose of it, but I'm not sure how we get there.
Yeah. No, we'll walk through it. A container is either an imaginary box that holds not the memory, but just a little piece of it. So if in the memory, what you're getting is a father's going like this, the visual. That's what we're getting. And then that we're going to put in an imaginary container and send it out of awareness. For people who can't visualize, we're going to talk about an accommodation that works when you can't visualize. At least 5% of people struggle with visualization. They need to heal too. So the standard container is a visualization resource. Yeah. So again, question about telehealth clients. Um, how do we do this through telehealth? If you're working with somebody under 40, I would say, especially if you're working with somebody under 30, your telehealth window is one of about 30 other windows they have open. They're going to be able to toggle between YouTube and you effortlessly, right? So you don't even need to worry about that. They have the YouTube app. They're going to be able to toggle between you and YouTube easily. If you're working with someone who's older, and I'm realizing every time I say it that I'm in the older demographic, darn it, right? That's my age or older, what I ask is, how do you feel about your TV remote? And if they start grumbling, I'm going to say, why don't I screen share your YouTube video for you? And I'll just screen share my YouTube window and then take it down when we need to and put it back up when we need to. Sensible? Okay, good. Um, can we use this with children and teenagers? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do we check the suds? We don't check the suds. This is a little bit of mic drop. We don't check the suds in this version of Flash. Do you know why? The suds is an activation strategy. So if I'm trying to leave the memory in your brain where trauma is, why would I have you weigh it with your awareness, feel how much crappiness remains, and then put it back there as though I didn't just touch it? So earlier versions of Flash, we had the suds built in, but if our battle is to try to not overactivate the memory, we need to not check the suds. And in Flash, the suds makes perfect sense in the EMDR therapy. Suds doesn't make sense in Flash. Do you know why? Because if the client's doing what you're asking them to do, you don't need to know. I don't care. I don't care whether there's a 6 or a 2 left in that memory. That memory is going to resolve 95% of the time in a single session, whatever the remaining suds is. So part of what the suds is in Flash is it's a way to ease therapist anxiety, but it requires we reach over and touch stuff that I don't want us to reach right here, right now. There's also, you know what there's also not in this version of Flash? There's no bilateral. There's no BLS. I've never once done BLS. Never once done BLS. And my clients resolve whatever we target 95% of the time. Do you know what that means? It cannot be an active ingredient. If you can do something without something with almost 100% predictability, that thing can't be an active ingredient. But I like BLS. I like this left-right tapping. Some people like Yankee Doodle. You can have them hum Yankee Doodle, but it's not going to help them find their way into the calm scene, and that's what's healing them. Okay? So there's no bilateral, and this works 95% of the time. There's no SUDS, and this works 95% of the time. And there's no requirement for blinking. You can look away and then look back at your YouTube video. It works exactly the same. And I'm going to be doing research in Cleveland, right, with a nonprofit that I'm starting at the end of the year. I'm doing research in Cleveland to demonstrate this using research. So questions. Children and teenagers, find their favorite YouTuber playing their favorite piece of video game and then message me and tell me that memory didn't resolve. Or have them bring their game system in and have them play their game while you're doing Flash. Now, you got to figure out how to write up your notes in a way that's not going to get you into trouble. But what you're going to be documenting is that client successfully resolved a memory in that session. Your clients are going to, every single trauma training you've ever taken with kids says you have to make this fun. Flash makes trauma work fun. Your kid's going to want to come back and do it because we're doing something more engaging than Uno ever was. And we're using it to heal a little piece of that kid's nervous system. Okay. All right. What is going on? What is going on? Page 5. There are multiple lenses here. So first, anybody here familiar with Bruce Ecker's work? Bruce Ecker sound familiar? Good. For some of you, what Bruce Ecker said, and again, Bruce Ecker looked at what was transformational in sessions. And he also looked at memory reconsolidation research, which has been happening for the last 25 years like crazy. And what Bruce Ecker says is that all of this research, all of this stuff that he's done boils down to a remarkably simple idea, which is that if you want to heal from something, you need to activate a piece of it. In all of your experiences, you need to activate a piece of something and then immediately have the client sit with an experience that disconfirms the expectation in the bad memory. I'm going to say this several different ways. We need to activate a piece of a difficult something and then sit with an experience that demonstrates something completely opposite of what you were expecting to have happen when engaging with that memory. Okay? So as van der Kolk, and I'm trying to stop quoting van der Kolk for an assortment of reasons, but as van der Kolk says, one of the most quoted lines in The Body Keeps the Score is that in order to heal, we need to have experiences that deeply and viscerally contradict the helplessness, rage, collapse generated by the trauma. So Bruce Ecker is like, we heal across experiential juxtaposition. Okay? The research he looked at, memory reconsolidation research, involved humans, mice, nematodes, and everything in between. Research into how organisms unlearned saliently learned information. Okay? We heal across experiential mismatch. We heal across prediction error. You're expecting to experience something, and in fact, you experience something different. By the way, that's why we don't have baseball bats in our office and we just beat the crap out of our clients. Does it make sense? Because we're trying to hold them in a way that's different, right? We're trying to love them with boundaries in a way that is disconfirming of their expectation. Aren't we? We're trying to listen to them in a way that is disconfirming of their expectation. Even they come into session 5 minutes late, expecting we're going to beat them. And we're like, okay, I'm glad you're here. Right? We understand this intuitively, don't we? Right? We heal across experiential mismatch. Now, what's super exciting is that Bruce Acker is here. And then we have up here something I think is just mind-blowing amazing related to what's happening in neurobiology and neuroscience generally. Multiple branches of neuroscience are organizing around the concept of the predictive brain. Okay? And what the predictive brain is suggesting is something that is going to shape how we do psychotherapy. Because how we've thought about the brain for 120 years is not how the brain actually seems to be wired. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little lens into that, and then I'm going to let you know where you can learn some more. Okay, so we've assumed that perception begins with sensory information. We've assumed that even how we see the world begins with light hitting our eyes, being converted into electrical signals, and then that moves deeper and deeper into the brain, where objects are sorted out, where movement is detected, where colors are figured, and then moving deeper and deeper until ultimately a scene with meaning emerges. Okay, doesn't that make sense? Deep in your brain, meaning emerges. But what we're learning is that we're not finding pathways that go from the sensory regions deeper and deeper into the brain. What we're finding is we're finding structures deep into the brain that are bigger, pathways that are bigger that go toward our sensory structures. And what we're finding is that, number one, that's really weird. Why would we have pathways going deep into the brain toward our sensory structures? It's almost as if deep in our brain, it is expecting us to sense stuff. Okay? And that's exactly what's happening. Well, the way our brain is organized in this new model is it begins with the model that you have of yourself in the world, based on every single thing you've ever been through, including trauma. So in your brain is a comprehensive model of the world. And if you don't know what I mean by that, imagine how weird this talk would be if this were a Taco Bell managers meeting. None of this would make sense. Does that make sense? It's almost like everything in your brain related to therapists, related to training, related to trauma, related to flash, all of that relates to every single thing you've ever been through that brings you here, right? So we're here because of this model of the world and our expectation about what would happen here. Okay, so what we're learning is that this model of the world is what your brain uses to predict what you're about to sense. Perception begins with a prediction. In fact, it begins with hundreds of thousands of them a second about what you're about to experience. And every single word that I'm about to taco, do you see what just happened there? See what just happened there? Your brain was expecting the word, right? Prediction error. And then everything that we've been talking about just made that prediction error make sense. Okay. So deep in our brain is issuing predictions that go down toward the sensory structures of our brain that are guessing what we're about to experience. And when the sensory information contains something different than what it's expecting, what is returned is prediction error signals. Like when I said taco, most of you that were paying attention got prediction error signals. Okay, so the prediction error signals do one of two things. They either issue new updated predictions or it updates the model that you had of yourself in the world. It updates a little piece of the model of yourself in the world that is in your brain. Okay. And the only thing it has to do that, so the elements are the model of everything you've been through, your right now sensory information, and then your predictive system. And another element that's in there is called precision weighting. It's where in this vast stream of everything you've been through, everything in this vast stream of predictions, in this vast stream of prediction error, prediction weighting is where is my brain focusing on? What information is important? What information is not important? Okay. Why is that related to trauma? Because trauma is information that is stored in a way that says, do not forget me. Put your emphasis here. Trauma is saliently learned information where the lessons are very self-referential. What I mean by that is trauma isn't meant to be updated easily, in part because the moment you get near it, it points to itself and it pulls you out of right now sensory information that might disconfirm it. So you see what we're doing in this therapy from this lens? What we're doing is we're bringing a tiny piece of a memory into working memory. And then we're pushing it out of awareness. Do you know what happens when you bring something into working memory in this predictive brain model? Your brain has to start making predictions about it. And it's going to do that for a little while. When you put what precision weighting is I'm having you put your finger on a little bitty tiny piece of your experience. You bring that into working memory, you push it out of your awareness, your brain is making predictions about it. And you know the most important prediction I want it to make is that it is over. And it only has two things to base that on. It has your generative model and it has what is happening in your right now sensory system, including your viscera, right? And you know what's happening in your right now sensory system? Puppies and kittens or hot bubbly pizzas coming out of the oven. So your brain is making predictions about this little bitty tiny piece of a memory. Do you know what a little bitty tiny piece of the memory is? It's not that evolutionarily expensive, right? A little bitty tiny piece of learning can be changed easily when you give it the right sensory disconfirmation. And we're not giving it one, we're giving it six back to back. Because every time we do blinks, you're having a new experience. So you're bringing a little piece of the memory into working memory, push it out of awareness, and you're having an experience, 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 experience. that doesn't tell you, it demonstrates to you that that little piece of the memory is not happening right here, right now, because it's not happening in your sensory system and it's not happening in your interoceptive state anywhere. Do you see why it's important to bring the memory into work, that little piece of the memory into working memory, and then send it out of awareness? Because if we leave it in working memory and we stay focused on it, do you know what's going to happen? It's likely to grow. And then it's going to show up more in our body. And now our brains are going to have to make predictions about the experience in our body. Does that make sense? So I hope you can see the elegance of this. So from the Bruce Acker point of view, we heal when we activate something and then have an experience that disconfirms the expectation and the bad memory. And then van der Kolk, we heal when we have experiences that deeply and viscerally contradict the helplessness, rage, collapse generated by the trauma. And in Flash, we heal when we bring a tiny piece of the memory into working memory, and then you have back-to-back redundant experiences that show you that's not happening right here, right now, because it's not happening anywhere in you right here, right now. And then the next bean, and then the next bean, and more puppies, and more kittens, and more pizza. Make sense? Questions? Questions about working memory, about kind of this version of predictive brain, predictive processing.
I have a quick
Yeah,
question. So I was thinking about the like activation part. Is it when we bring it up, that's enough
yeah,
like micro activation to
yeah.
do the disconfirming experience?
You
Okay.
just, you contained it. You know what you need to contain it? You have to touch it a little bit with your awareness. Does it make sense? When you shop vac it out, you're shop vacking out something.
Okay.
That's bringing it into awareness a little bit. Does that make sense? Remember, we're touching the skillet with a wet finger. Just that. That
Yeah.
is just enough contact to bring it into working memory without setting your shirt on fire.
Okay. And then sort of doing it like one bean at a time instead of like the whole bean
Yep.
bag
Yep.
with EMDR. That
Yep.
sort of is the
Well,
same
what I'm going to
process.
say is that in EMDR, we process it a piece at a time too. It's just
That's true.
instead of
Yeah.
paper thin slices, it's big old thick slices that move through your viscera. So, okay,
Okay.
let's think about this. This isn't just Flash. Okay? Who here does parts work? What is parts work? Parts work is experiential work. Okay? Experiential work in which parts of you are having relational experiences with other parts of you that are different than the learning and the trauma. Does that make sense? Parts work is experiential. I don't know if you've ever done it, but oh my gosh, it's experiential and it's disconfirming as the day is long. Do you know what that is? It's prediction error, therapeutically leveraged prediction error. In EMDR therapy, we notice the difficult stuff that's confirming. Why? So that the difficult stuff can connect with the adaptive stuff that's already in you. Do you know what that is? That is prediction error. Therapeutically leveraged prediction error all day long. Somatic experiencing, right? When you are able to release what you haven't been able to release, that is physical prediction errors, using your own body in prediction error. And again, I don't mean to be controversial, but EMDR 2.0, I don't know whether it's taxing working memory, but I guarantee you it's filled with prediction error. Do you know why? We activate the heck out of you. And then we distract you from that activation. Look at what people are doing. They're laughing, they're smiling, they're distracted. Why are they distracted? Because you just distracted the heck out of them. The distraction taxes their effective state. What we're disrupting is we're creating a disconnect. We're creating a prediction error between what they're experiencing and what they thought they were gonna experience. It's prediction error all day long. Okay, so what I'm suggesting is that the brain seems to be wired this way. Okay? That we learn. And by the way, with a brain wired this way, it's not just perception. Model, prediction, prediction error, precision weighting, this structure of organization in the brain, it's not just perception. Every single thing the brain does. Every single thing the brain does, from learning to sodium regulation, to heart rate, to body temperature, every single core thing the brain does seems to be organized around the model, prediction, prediction error, and precision weighting. Seems to be how the brain is. Okay? Questions? You can do 4 blinks on yourself. I'll show you how. EMDR, not that great. I don't know if you've ever tried it. Have you ever tried EMDR on yourself? I went through a gut-wrenching divorce like 7 years ago. I would have been better off going for a walk. I knew how to do EMDR well. I got out my tappers. I was like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, nothing. I would have been better off breathing, right? I'm not saying some people can't do good EMDR, but I know how to do EMDR technically really well, and it didn't do crap for me. Flash resolves stuff when you do it well. Okay, so Flash is really, really good self-administered. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, good. How's this sounding? Yeah. You can use Flash in crisis situations. I trained hundreds of therapists after the hurricanes, flooding in North Carolina, thousands of therapists following the stuff in the Middle East. It's a terrible time as a trauma therapist to try to learn something new. That's the problem, right? So if you're going to get trained in crisis interventions, do it before there's a crisis in your community so that you're trained and ready to go. Yeah. Okay. If you're interested, at the bottom of page 5, The Experience Machine by Andy Clark's a really good book to read. Also, Lisa Feldman Barrett's How Emotions Are Made. I have a free book group. You're welcome to join. We're reading, you kind of missed, we've already done Andy Clark's book, and we're about to start, I believe it's tomorrow night, the first half of Lisa Feldman Barrett's How Emotions Are Made. So Andy Clark's a big developer of predictive processing. Lisa Feldman Barrett, if you're not familiar with her work, this lady has her own fMRI machines. She's like just one of the most quoted people in neuroscience. We need to be familiar with her work, and she's all about the things that we're about. So check them out. Page 6, Flash in a crisis context. Yes, you can use it. The problem is if adversity just happened and they walk into your clinic, where's the trauma? Do you know what we need to do? We need to ground, 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 ground. Why? To get it far enough away from you so that you can bring a tiny piece of it into working memory at a time. So you can do Flash on recent event stuff. However, you may need to ground first. If it's already in working memory, you need to get it out by grounding first. Okay, good. We've talked about this, what a fully processed memory looks like. Zero distress, more adaptive beliefs about yourself and the world, and your body can play the memory and there's no distress. You can play the memory and there's no distress anywhere in your body. The memory feels like it happened when it did. All parts of you experience that memory as over, not happening right here, right now. The memory gets inserted into your timeline and behaves the way memories from that timeline, that place in your timeline behave. Intrusive symptoms stop. The processed memory generalizes, and the resolved memory becomes more adaptive information when you do it well. Okay? How I incorporate Flash, page 7, as an EMDR therapist. I'm using Flash to help the client get stable when they're not stable. I'm targeting whatever is most contributing to current instability. Why? They're going to be easier to resource for EMDR therapy if they're more stable. I'm targeting the bad relationship they're in. I'm targeting the teenager in their house that they look at their hands and they think those hands would fit right around that teenager's neck. Like every day, right? We're helping with the things that are like really, really bumping you out of your window of tolerance right here, right now. Okay? What else are you going to do that's more productive than that with people with really complex trauma? The 4 core Flash resources that we're about to go through and teach really do. They're really good resources for people with complex trauma anyway. So even if you don't do Flash, they're a really good place to start. Okay. Also, remember we're building the needed adaptive information, and that's what's going to be sorely missing with people with complex trauma when we go to do EMDR. So one of the common questions is, why would I do EMDR at all if we have Flash? Okay. EMDR is like a brush hog behind a tractor, right? It'll clear out 20 feet. Okay. You can't do that if you have massive piles of cement all in your yard. Does that make sense? So what Flash is Flash is like a 22-inch push mower, right? It's going to let you start. It's going to let you manage the catastrophe of the lawn. Okay? It's going to let you start. And that's the biggest challenge. So for those of you that work with really, really complex trauma, the challenge isn't that you're not going to work efficiently, because you're going to be seeing that client for a few years anyway, right? The challenge, I'm telling you, the real challenge is that you're not going to start. You're a trauma therapist. They have really, really bad trauma, and you're not going to start because we're going to get so overwhelmed about the constant catastrophes. And we're going to dramatically overthink where we should start that we never actually start. And that's sad. Flash lets you start. Because once you've started, you know what you've done? You've started. And that was the biggest risk. You've already avoided the biggest risk in this work, which is that you're not going to start. Questions? Yes. Questions?
I'm curious about like considerations for using Flash with folks with substance use disorders, because I know with
Yeah.
EMDR, like you're supposed to encourage people to abstain from substance use, like kind of before or after to give the brain time to
Mm-hmm.
be more present.
Yeah. Everybody's got their own comfort level. Does that make sense about whether you work in a harm reduction? My line is if you come to session impaired, we're going to figure out how to get you home, and I'm going to schedule you when you can come not impaired. But what we worry about, think about with like benzo use or marijuana use in EMDR, what we worry about is we're trying to activate you. Okay? We're trying to activate you. I'm not trying to activate you in Flash. Okay, so I'm not telling my clients to go home and smoke weed, but if they've done it, activation isn't an active ingredient in Flash. So I'm less worried about it. I'm less worried about a lot of things in Flash than I am in EMDR therapy. Okay, so I'm not telling clients abstain from substances because whatever happens in Flash, it's done a little bit at a time. Does that make sense? So by the end of the session, whatever healing is going to happen has happened, a little micro slice at a time. And let me put it this way. We've said in EMDR therapy, we've said that reprocessing continues. And those of you that have done it, you'll feel things shifting around inside you. I'm not entirely sure that reprocessing does continue in EMDR. Do you know what continues? Distress continues. Embers continue. The rippling of your nervous system trying to make sense of what has happened inside it continues. And the reason I say that is we're afraid it's going to mess with generalization. I've been at the end of an EMDR session, and at the very end of that EMDR session that was productive, I looked at those other memories that were on my target list, and they're not on my target list anymore. By the end of that session, generalization had already happened. Okay? So I'm certain that there are things happening in your nervous system because we've done some very shifty and disruptive stuff in your nervous system. But whether stuff happens or not over the next 12 hours or 24 hours in EMDR, whatever happened live in Flash is over then. Does that make sense? I mean, there's no reprocessing will continue in Flash because we never set your body on fire to begin with. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
That was really helpful.
can the client do what I'm asking them to do? Yeah. I'm also less worried about clients. Do you know in EMDR how the difficult stuff has to connect with adaptive stuff? That's the disconfirmation. That's what healing is. That doesn't happen in in Flash. The difficult stuff in Flash connects to your right now affective state. Okay. So if I have a client that's, let me think. I'm not going to do EMDR with a client that's not thinking clearly, right? Maybe he's in a med change and they're having a little bit of psychosis. I'm not doing EMDR with them. I will absolutely do Flash with them because Flash is not adaptive information dependent. It connects to your right now affective state in your calm scene. Sensible? So people struggle when they struggle doing one of the core things you're asking them to do. And what am I asking you to do in Flash? I'm asking you to microactivate and be engaged in a pleasant scene repeatedly. If you can do that, Flash is likely to resolve whatever you point at it. And that is remarkably good news. All right, page 9. Shall we develop some resources and then test this? Let's build our 2024 Toyota. Let's put some wheels on that sucker. Put some gas and oil in it and let's go. Let's go. Okay, so let's develop a container. So the container resource is an imaginary resource. If you struggle visualizing, don't worry, I'm going to have an accommodation for you in a moment. Okay, but those of you who can imagine, what we're doing is you need something that can hold not the whole memory, but a little piece of it. So can you imagine a box of any type? It can be a file box, it can be a box of any type. Do you have something? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Do you have something that'll work? Good. Awesome. Notice it. Spin it around with your awareness. Notice what it's made of. Notice the colors, the materials it's made from. Good. Notice how it opens and closes. We need your box to have a little lid. Notice how it opens and closes. Good. How's that? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. You're doing all right? Okay, good. Now, can you imagine? Hold on. Can you imagine a blank post-it note? No trauma, just a blank post-it note going into that box. And can you see the box lid close? Does it feel like what you just put in there is in there? Open it up. Do you see a post-it note on the bottom? Do you know what I mean? Check. We're testing object permanence. We're making sure that what you put in there can go in there. Making sure that your container can contain. Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Doing all right? Good. All right. This part can be a little difficult. That box, can you send it away from you and then have it go through your wall, out into the universe, and at 1 billion miles an hour or 1 billion miles a second? I know we're breaking the physics here. Send it past the object formerly known as the planet Pluto. Can you just send it out of the solar system in like the blink of an eye? Can you just gone? Okay, good. How did that go? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Doing all right? Okay, good. Now, can we imagine a warehouse filled to the ceiling with empty copies of your container? Completely empty copies, so that anytime we need one, poof, one shows up like magic with the door open, ready to go. Okay? I used to say Costco, but when I would say, can you imagine an empty Costco? People would get upset because they want their Costco to be filled with their stuff. So, so, so good. The idea is that we look at the memory, get a little tiny piece of it. That little piece of it goes in the container and goes out of awareness. We never, ever, 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 ever bring the container back. You don't need to. We're getting content out of the memory only. What we put in the container goes past Saturn and it never comes back. Okay? Why? Because what we just put in there, we've just had an experience of it being over. And whatever didn't get fully processed, even though we sent it out of the solar system, don't worry, it's going to find its way back into the memory automatically. That's how bad memories work. Whatever's not resolved finds its way back to the memory automatically. Make sense? So we never bring the container back. We only look at the memory itself to get the next little piece of it and then container that. Okay? Good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Those of you that struggle visualizing, I have 50 bean bags in my office. Different colors, red, yellow, green, blue, and I have 50 of them. So you know what we do? They live in a wicker basket. I dump them out on the table between me and the client, the little coffee table between me and the client. I put the wicker basket across the room. Do you know what the client does? They get a bean bag, they throw the bean bag in the air, and they think about the bad memory only when the bean bag is in the air. Okay? And whatever is associated with whatever stinks in that part of the memory gets put in the bean bag, and we throw the bean bag across the room. So you think about the bad memory only when the bean bag is in the air, and you throw it across the room. As soon as it hits your hand, you throw it across the room. Okay? And do you know what we've just done? Microactivate container. Microactivate container. We've just outsourced to an object. And if you're in telehealth, you're like, how do I do this with telehealth? They have random pieces of paper in their house somewhere. You know what you do? You cut it into strips, you rip it into cubes, and then you know what you do? You make little balls of paper. And then your client throws those little balls of paper in the air, and then they throw that across the room, and you don't care because it's in their house and not in your office. Does that make sense? They pick them up or not. They usually will pick them up and put them in a little cup for next time. Okay, so isn't that elegant? We've just outsourced something that people that have trouble visualizing are going to really, really struggle with. We've outsourced it to something concrete. Okay? Questions? Questions about container? If nothing else, do that. Does that make sense? If nothing else, this is it's a physical movement designed to send the message. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not trying to make sense of it. I'm not noticing it. As a matter of fact, it's moving away from me. It's a gesture designed to send the message, no, moving away from me, moving out of so that all of my awareness can be available to my calm scene. Because if it's in your mind, it is junking up your calm scene. That doesn't mean we're about to talk about the body. What we container is what got worse when you looked at the memory. You don't have to be a 0. I work all day long with clients that are an 8, 8.5 out of 10 baseline. I don't need that to be any lower. What we're containing and what we're vacuuming out of the body is what got worse when you just looked at that memory. Do you see the difference? Isn't it good news that your client doesn't have to be completely relaxed to do flash? But we're containing only the activation that came from that memory because that's what we're trying to shift. Okay? Awesome. Now, distress, page 10. Distress in the body is a problem in flash. Do you know why? Because if I'm trying to help your brain reach the conclusion that that memory is over, if it's happening in your body, it's not over. Remember, trauma is saliently learned information. It is not meant to be updated easily. It is not meant to be updated without a very strong, compelling signal from your right now senses. Okay? And if it's happening in your viscera, your nervous system isn't going to conclude that it's over in flash, or it's not going to conclude as quickly that it's over. Questions? Okay. Shop vac. So has anybody here used a handheld vacuum? Has anybody here dropped coins into a car wash vacuum cleaner? Has anybody here used a shop vac where you just take the attachments off and you have a hose? Right? Have you ever like tested to see how strong the vacuum is before you go to clean up pet hair or whatever? Or have you pulled the hose off a canister vacuum to clean up something? Okay, good. What kind of day did y'all have today? Do you see clients today? Do you have any residual Monday in your body? You mind scanning your body to see if you have any stress hanging out there? And if you do, can you turn on your shop vac? Can you turn on your vacuum and move it over wherever that stress is and see if you can see it leave your body like a kind of colored smoke going into that shop vac hose, going into that vacuum hose, wherever it is. Some people do this. Just go this and just so it's some people that vacuum it out of their chest. Again, use your hands if you can, just to kind of send the message, just to get it out of wherever it is. Don't let it pull your skin, right? Don't let it pull your skin, but wherever it is. Good. Good. And now your shop vac canister is your container. And then it goes out of awareness, right? And we have a warehouse full of vacuums so that a new empty vacuum comes anytime we need one. Okay? And yes, some of your clients will say, Tom, this feels ecologically irresponsible, sending all of this stuff out into the universe. And I'm like, it's just an imagination, SpongeBob. It's okay. Right? It's okay. Good. Good. If people struggle with shop vac, vacuums can be triggering because of punishment, childhood punishment. Vacuums can be triggering because some medical procedures involve vacuums, right? So if a vacuum construct is triggering, we need a way other than that. So how do you quickly get distress out of your body? Sometimes just wiggling. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes just, or even using your hands wherever it is. If you have some residual distress, can you use your hands and scoop it up and send it away? Right? Can we use our hands, kind of metaphorical hands, and wherever it is, can we kind of pull it out and send it away? Right? Again, we're sending the message. We're not thinking about you. We're not noticing you. We're not making sense of you. We're not following it. Whatever it is, we're just pushing it out of awareness. Some people can use a very fast light stream to just push the stress out of their body. Sometimes we have to breathe it out for people that don't, for whom vacuum doesn't resonate. And when all else fails, ground. When all else fails, grounding is the most powerful of the resources that we have for most people. Ground, sensory grounding. We're going to talk about that next. But first, page 11. What is it that you love? What is it that you can't help but laugh when you watch it? Can you find that on YouTube? It can be beautiful, it can be relaxing, it can be whatever. If you love beaches, go to YouTube and search beach island relaxation. Okay? If you love puppies, type in the favorite name, whatever name of your favorite breed is, golden retrievers playing in fields of hay. Type it in and see if there's something like that. Okay? My client's favorite, it's weird, my client's favorite calm scene is she brought an actual deli sandwich to session, wrapped in deli paper. And the first few rounds, she's just unwrapping it. And then she's smelling it. And then she's cutting it into cubes. And then the whole rest of the session, she's consuming her calm scene. It's weird, but you can process childhood sexual abuse eating a sandwich in Flash. Okay? So find it. I'm going to give you 90 seconds. I'm going to refill my drink. I'm going to give you 90 seconds to find something that just shifts how you feel quickly on YouTube. I'll be right back. All right, how'd that go? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Do you find something that works? Awesome. Bookmark that. We're going to need to get back to that in a little while, right? Make sure you can find it. Okay, good. Yes, use sound. I'm going to talk right over it. When we're doing it, I'm going to talk right over it. Good. Okay, the calm scene, pleasant scene, beautiful scene, calm. Calm isn't the right adjective, right? It can be anything. Funny, distracting, astonishing. Okay. It has two rules. Number one, it has to shift how you feel quickly. Okay. It can't be boring for 30 seconds and then get interesting for 2. It needs to really like shift how you feel quickly. The other rule is that you cannot, whatever your calm scene is, it cannot in any way intersect the memory that you're working on. Okay? So you can't use funny things babies say to process child loss, right? You can't use a beach in Maui, a video of a beach in Maui to process divorce trauma if that's where you honeymooned. Makes sense? You can't even pet on an actual dog to process the memory of a pet loss before, right? You just that there are intersections. You can't do it. So even if it's even, and this is how complicated it can get, is that imagine you're working on divorce trauma, and the only thing that didn't stink was when y'all were watching The Office. Does that make sense? And then now you're using The Office, and you're going to remember in the middle of processing this memory, you're going to remember that that's the episode that y'all watched in the middle of COVID, that blah, 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 blah. And do you see it's an intersection? So if there's an intersection between the memory you're working on and your calm scene, you have to immediately change the calm scene to something else that doesn't intersect. Okay? It's important also that we let clients select their own calm scene. Okay? The video needs to be long enough for them to be able to keep it interesting. Do you know what I mean? If it's a 2-minute video, but it's really, really funny, they're just going to keep playing it over and over and over. Okay, it's better if it's a 30-minute video because that'll get us most of the session. Okay, so good. Questions? Teaching sensory grounding, page 12. If you need to get your candle or your essential oil or your drink for the sense of smell and taste, feel free to do that. I'll give you a moment. It can be a different video every time. It can be a different video. By the way, it doesn't have to be YouTube. You know what it can be? It can be your favorite Spotify playlist, not your breakup playlist, right? Not your heartache playlist, not your when you were 13 all angsty in your teen bedroom, want to jump off a bridge playlist, not that playlist, but your power anthem. You know what I mean? Power anthem. We got this playlist. That playlist is what you the playlist that makes you want to dance. That's the playlist that we can use. Okay? And then what do we do? Yeah, you do blinks while you're listening to music. And if your eyes are closed, you open them and then close them. It's a reverse blink. It works just as well. Okay? Good. Sensory grounding. We're going to work very quickly. We can always spread this out later, but with people with complex trauma, we tend to make the resources too slow, too spacious, and not concrete enough. So this way of doing sensory grounding, we're going to be done with all of it in 35 seconds. All of the senses in 35 seconds. That's quick. Okay. So good. I invite you to look around your current room. Notice whatever you see. Each object, if you were to touch it, would it be hard or soft or some other texture? Good. If you have a piece of furniture near you, touch it. Is it warmer, cooler, or the same temperature as your hand? Good. I'm going to be very quiet. Notice whatever you hear in order of loudest first. Good. If you have something near you that has a smell, feel free to engage in that. If you have something near you that has a taste, feel free to engage in that. If not, notice whatever you are tasting. Good. How did that go? Thumbs up, some thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Did it let you feel a little bit more connected to your present space? That's the goal. And if it did, which of the senses tonight felt the most anchoring for you? Which of the senses seem to be the most powerful for you? Because if you go to look at the memory and the memory grabs you and pulls it in, that's the sense I want to start with. I want to start with the one that's the most grounding for you. And we're going to ground, ground, ground until all parts of you know where you are. Okay, if you're having a flashback, we're going to ground until all parts of you can know and see where you are right here, right now. Okay? Questions? Okay, good. Those are our 4 resources. Container, shop vac, calm scene, and sensory grounding. 4 walls of our chimney. And if you're not sure what to do, if you're like, uh-oh, I don't know what's happening, ground. Ground. Never regretted grounding once. There's things I regret, never regretted grounding. Okay. Page 14. I don't know that there's anything else to say. Step 3, select the memory, but do not set it on fire. And if the client does set it, if the client starts telling you a trauma narrative, don't go, oh my goodness, Helen, I need you to stop talking. Don't do that. Right? Don't do that. Just realize that you may need to ground before we start flash. Okay? We may need to ground. Because if they just told you about it, we may need to ground to get it far enough away from you to where we can bring a little piece of it into working memory at a time. Okay? Select the memory, but do not activate it. And again, check with all parts. Do all parts of you think work? So the things I want you to do, can you find a memory quickly? Is it an individual memory? I want to know, is it the memory that you're thinking about working on? I'm not having you tell me what it is every time, right? Is it an individual memory that happened at a particular place and time? Bullying in 7th grade is not a memory. It's a theme. Okay? The time James said to me in Miss Batley's class is a memory. Okay? Is it a memory that happened at a particular place and time? And do all parts of you think working on that memory is a good idea today? Check. Check. And if a part says no, that's okay. Do you know what I do? I say, thank you. Thank you for letting us know that's not a good idea today. But do you have a suggestion of where we might work that might feel safer? And you know what might come from the client? Why don't we work on Jimmy? Jimmy? Who's Jimmy? Jimmy's a few boyfriends ago. Okay. What do we need to work on related to Jimmy? When I picked up his phone and saw he was a lion, cheating, blah, blah, blah. Okay, to all parts of you, think working on that memory with Jimmy is a good idea. Yeah? Good. Push it out of your awareness. Let me know when it's gone. Good. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. Do you see what we just did there? Transition, a little hiccup, transitioned, found a new memory, and moved right into step 4. What memory do you need to work on? Is it an individual memory? Do all parts of you think working on it's a good idea today? Good. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there, right? Push it out of your awareness. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. How do you check in? How do you check with the parts? When you don't know parts work, you just openly. So what I say, the way I introduce parts is I said, have you ever wanted to go somewhere and not wanted to go at the same time? Okay, I'm just introducing the concept of parts. We're not doing all this parts work. I'm just normalizing parts, right? And I may say, have you ever wanted to come to therapy and not wanted to come at the same time? That makes perfect sense to me. Have you ever loved somebody and kind of freaking hated them at the same time? Right? Maybe there are parts of us that want to be loved, and there are parts of us that are so tired of being hurt. And we want to hear from all parts of you, even if they don't agree, especially if they don't agree. Okay, good. Good. Step 4, load up your calm scene. Calm scene with blinks every 5 seconds. The way that sounds is load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. They nod that they're there. And then I am internally 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, or whatever, about 5 seconds. Nothing magical happens. But blink, blink, blink. That's way too quick, right? They need to, so blink, blink. Good. Go right back into your calm scene. Blink, blink, and blink. Okay, good. I keep track on my fingers, on my, like if I have my hand on my leg, I keep track like that. So I know how many times I've said blink, 5 seconds apart. And that's going to get us roughly to 30 seconds. Okay, good. How did that go? By which I mean, were you able to find your way into your calm scene repeatedly? If anything from the bad memory comes in, we're going to stop, catch it, contain it, and send it 1 billion miles further away than we sent it last time. Okay? The memory intersecting with your calm scene is a problem. We must stop and get it out of there. The calm scene. You're not thinking about the memory if I'm not right now asking you to. You are not thinking about the memory if I'm right now not asking you to. Okay? The first time you're in step 4, right after you're in step 3, the first time you're in step 4, repeat it. Why? Because it's your active ingredient. We're about to start microactivating that memory. I want to make sure that your calm scene is working, that you can find your way in. Have you ever started a mindfulness class or started a yoga class or started a meditation exercise and just found it took you a while to get into it? That's what we're doing here. We're making sure that you can get into it. We're testing that calm scene, 2 rounds to make sure that you can get into it before we start bringing a little tiny piece of trauma into working memory. Okay? Good. So first time in step 4, we repeat the calm scene with blinks. We only do that once. Okay? And then you know what we do? Lightning fast. Look at the memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. Let me know when it's gone. I'm going to encourage you when we do this, use your hands. Send it away. Send it away. We're going to send it away. Okay? Good. Excellent. And then you know what we do? We go back to our, when it's gone, load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. And we do that loop until it takes you, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 seconds to find what's distressing in the memory. Because after the first few rounds, you're going to have to start looking for what's distressing. And then you'll find it pretty quickly. And then at some point, it's going to take you 8, 9, 10 seconds to find what's distressing. And that's probably a good time to go to our video, step 6. So what I'm going to say after it's taking longer and longer for the client to find what's distressing, I'm going to say, when you're having trouble finding what's distressing, let me know. And then I say, okay, now that you're having trouble finding what's distressing, let's play the memory, play the bad memory from the very first piece, and let me know when the first piece of distress comes, even if it's a little bit. Clients usually turn their head, I don't know why, and they start moving their head like they're reading something. And then they find it. And I say, good, catch it, contain it, send it far away. When it's gone, calm scene. They go to their calm scene, blink, 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 blink. How did that go? Good. That piece of the memory, is there any distress in it in this moment? Yes, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Good. Let me know when you're there. Good. Blink, 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 blink. How did that go? Good. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? No. Play it forward. Got it. Catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. Let me know when it's gone. Okay, good. Calm scene. Blink, 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 blink. How did that go? Good. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? No. Play it forward. I just got to the end of the memory. Go back, play it again. Turn up your sensitivity, play it again. No, I can play the whole thing and there's no distress on any channel. You're done in Flash. Okay, in this version of Flash. Okay, there is a step 7 in which we do all of this with a future scene. Once you've resolved a memory, imagine this. Imagine you have a fight with your partner because they can sometimes be a knucklehead. Okay, guess what? If you're still with your partner, they're going to be a knucklehead a few weeks from now. So what is a future scene that might be related to the past memory that might be good to neutralize? When I say ... and they say, why do you have to be so whatever it is? Okay, good. Where are you? Fill that out a little bit. Fill out that scene. What room? What's the conversation? Fill it out a little bit. When you fill it out, good. Push it out of your awareness. Let me know when it's gone. Look at a blank wall ceiling. Let me know when it's gone. Good. And then you know what we do? Lightning fast. Think about the future scene. Whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. Okay. We do that. We do that. Lightly activate the future scene. Calm scene blinks. We do that until the client has trouble finding what's distressing in the future scene. And then we play the video of the future scene, digesting each piece of distress until the client can play the video of the whole future scene and there's no distress on any channel. Okay? The future scene is not catastrophic. What does that mean? That means we're not doing a future scene of, let's imagine your new husband also falls dead of a heart attack. That is a really, really bad thing. Don't do that. Does that make sense? We're not doing a future scene of anything catastrophic. Now, if a partner has cheated on you 8 times, is a 9th time catastrophic? Probably not. Does that make sense? Probably not. That might be a really good future scene. Okay, where you get to behave in that future scene in the way that aligns with your own values. Okay, good. Questions? There's an abbreviated script on page 19. Very, very simple. This isn't a script for the resources. It assumes the resources are already done. But you can process trauma with clients using page 19 once they have the resources in place. So this is an abbreviated script that walks you through the process. Okay. Page 20. Where this version of Flash breaks and how to fix it. You've already guessed it. Overactivation is the problem all day long. Microactivation is not intuitive. Is anybody here at a desk? Does your desk have a drawer? Does anybody's desk have a drawer? Margaret, do you mind demoing? Can you open and close your drawer so quickly that you only see one thing? Try it. You were able to do it? Most people can't. Most people, they see 3 things or they see 4 things. So you're going to practice microactivating so that we're going to like open and close a drawer so quickly that you just see one thing. Does that make sense? So try that. You can also do it if clients are through telehealth, they can open and close the door in the room that they're in so quickly that they only see one thing. Right? Or we can try reading, where if you hold something in front of your face at a good reading distance, you close your eyes and then open and close one eye so quickly that you only see one word. So we're practicing only getting a tiny piece of something rather than opening a door and having horses and cows and pigs fly out at us, right? We're just getting a tiny little bit of something. Okay. If clients were just able to contain using our Post-it note. They were able to see that go in the container, but yet they're having trouble in Flash. Then the problem isn't containment. It's probably overactivation. So problems with containment usually float back to problems with overactivation. So if your client is complaining about containment, maybe this didn't come out. A London street bus did, and it probably feels like it's sitting on their chest. Okay, so ground, shot back the remainder, and then keep going. Does that make sense? Body-based distress is a problem, but it is also inevitable. Overactivation is inevitable in Flash, but it's also a problem. That doesn't mean because it's inevitable, we just ignore it. We don't. We take proactive measures to get it out of your body the moment it shows up. But if you just looked at that memory and wham, it hits your body, okay, I ground you. Okay? We go to look at that memory again. I want you to look at it 100 times faster because you just looked at it. If it's slamming your body, you just looked at it way too slowly. I want you to look at it 100 times faster. And if that whams your body, do you know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if this is too big of a memory today for you to microactivate. If it keeps hitting your body, it's probably too big of a memory. Okay? Good. So we need to work at the intersection of productive and tolerable. And memories that are too big for you to microactivate today are probably too big. So again, we want to start with small memories first. Why? Does anybody here buy a brand new car and immediately take it to the interstate to see how fast it can go? Would you do that with your client driving? Then don't do that with your clients in Flash. Does that make sense? So what you want to do is you want them to get good at the non-intuitive things. You want the non-intuitive things we're asking them to do in Flash. We want to practice it with things that are frustrating and mildly irritating first to learn how to do this dance. I've never been line dancing, embarrassingly, or I don't know, not, but I've never been line dancing, but if I went 10 times, I'd have it down. If I went 3 times, I'd have it down. So I want them to have microactivate container down before we get to the big stuff, because it's kind of like the little stuff. It's like somebody's tossing a tennis ball to you. It's easy to catch. By the time we get to big stuff, it's still catching and send it away, but now it's high school baseball players that are flinging the ball at you with velocity. You need to be able to catch it, right? You need to be able to do what I'm asking you to do. So we start with small memories first and then ooch up to bigger ones. Because Flash is not intuitive. I need to make the non-intuitive aspects of Flash intuitive for you before we get to the really big stuff. If you're like, my clients don't have time, your clients with complex trauma are going to be on your caseload for a few years once they start trauma work in any type of methodology. You have time to start slow. You don't have time not to start slow with Flash because they're not going to do it because they're going to have a bad experience in it. And you know what happens when you have a bad experience in Flash? It can be really bad. Do you know why? Think about your predictive brain. We're trying to make your brain conclude that the bad memory isn't happening right here. But if every time you look at it, you're activating worse and the client isn't telling me, do you know what the nervous system might do? It might get everything that's in working memory is trauma. It updates everything in working memory and tags it as trauma. And you can make golden retrievers now a trauma trigger. You can make your calm scene a trauma trigger. That's why clients need to understand if flash isn't painless, we must stop. If this isn't almost completely painless, we must stop. And if distress is building, we absolutely must stop. Okay? And you're never going to make the calm scene a trauma trigger if you're working down here. This is where we work in Flash. And if we're up here, we have resources for this. And we're up here, we're grounding. This is grounding territory first, and then using other resources. Questions? Flash seems to work really well with people with cognitive impairments. Yes, developmental delays, Flash works really well. Flash works really well for many people, not everybody, many people with neurodivergence, including ADHD. It is simply not true that most people with ADHD can't focus. They can focus on salient information. You need to make their calm scene really engaging and salient for them. Many people with autism have things that light up their dopamine system. That needs to be their calm scene. Whatever their fascination is, that needs to be their YouTube video. Okay? Now, many people with neurodivergent struggle with rapid task switching. Flash has a lot of rapid task switching in it. That's a challenge for some people. It takes a while to get used to. Okay? So, yes. Think about it this way. Have you ever done EMDR with clients with really pronounced borderline tendencies? How did that go? EMDR is difficult because for many people, there's this, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm not okay. I'm not okay, I've never been okay, I'm never gonna be okay, right? That point of activation, that snap point, isn't that far from the place I'm activating you in EMDR therapy. Do you know where Flash is? It's down here. It's that far from that snap point. Okay. So many of my clients with borderline tendencies tend to do pretty freaking awesome in Flash. Okay. My clients with DID love, love, love Flash. It's easier to get them to consent to doing trauma work using Flash than almost anything else. Because the parts are in agreement that we're going to do everything we can do not to activate you. And I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure you don't activate you. Yeah. Questions?
So with the sorry, I'm a little sick right now, but with the grounding, when they become, overactivated, I know you were talking about the 5 4 3 2 1, but I have some clients that don't like that. I have some clients, for example, that are working on, progressive muscle relaxation for calming. Would that be something appropriate to use in that moment, or is that?
It may be too slow.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I mean,
Yeah.
again, the version of grounding I just taught is way faster than 5 4 3 2 1. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the whole thing's over in 25 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
So they just need a strategy to reset their nervous system quickly. I'm not too picky about what it is, but it can't be slow. It's
Okay.
got to be quick. Yeah. Questions? Yeah. It's also if your client's calm scene if your client's calm scene gets stale and gets boring, flash may not work. Because it is the experience of the calm scene that's updating. It's the affective shift from the pleasant scene that is the disconfirmation. And if you're working on a memory and the client feels bored, do you know what a lot of childhood probably felt like? Bored and lonely, right? So, yeah. Also, if you have a client that has a very strong emotional response before we even start Flash, you probably didn't engage their part system as the script encourages you to. Okay, because parts need to be able to consent. And if they don't feel like they can consent, they're going to communicate with symptoms. Okay. So this version of Flash is very parts centric. Okay. Good. Practicum. We're going to take a few minute break in a moment and we're going to come back and practice this together. Page 21, practicum. Tips for a safe practicum. Number one, do not use an imaginary calm scene. Just trust me. Trust me on it. Flash is not EMDR. Use a YouTube calm scene. Or use an actual dog in your actual room. Do you know what I mean? And love on an actual animal. Or play your Spotify music and get up and dance if you need to. Okay? Be sensible about the memory you're working on. It is a Monday night, for goodness sakes. Does that make sense? Don't reach in and grab the biggest monster in your trauma container. Why would you do that on a Monday? That's crazy. Don't do that, right? Do something sensible. Flash does not work for those that are emotionally dead. Why? Because there's no disconfirmation. There's no experiential disconfirmation. I have clients who say they're emotionally dead, and what they mean is I hate people and I don't want attachment. But yet they can chuckle at a silly puppy, right? So if you've seen them smile, you've seen them chuckle, you've seen them be annoyed at something, they're not emotionally dead. Okay? If distress is present at any point, stop and deal with that distress and don't continue until the distress is moving away from you. If this isn't completely painless or almost completely painless, yeah, then we do it. Okay? Then we use a resource. We work one memory at a time in this version of Flash. Why? Because if you let into what is to keep 8 from coming? Okay? Yes, if you're having trouble microactivating, find a little thing to toss in the air, like we did with our beanbag to try to microactivate. Okay? Yeah. If you're in your calm scene and something difficult shows up, stop, grab whatever that is that came into your calm scene and send it past Pluto. It is okay to get out of sync with me. If you're grounding, if you're using a resource, come back in when I say load up your calm scene. Don't come back in when I say activate, because you just had activation. You need to do calm scene with blinks first before you activate. Don't double activate. Make sense? Okay, good. Let your eyes blink organically. Don't go, Tom didn't say blink, Tom didn't say blink. Let your eyes blink organically to keep your eyes healthy. Those organic blinks don't count. Okay? And then if grief comes, stop. Let yourself feel it. If your memory is grief centered or grief saturated and grief comes, stop, let yourself feel it. We don't flash grief. We grieve by grieving. Let yourself feel it. Let the wave come. Let a few rounds pass, and then come back in after the wave has passed. Okay? Good. Self-administered flash in first, I have MP3 files that'll walk you through what I'm about to walk you through. And the MP3 files are at the bottom of this page. I have more websites than the Wu-Tang Clan has name changes. It's ridiculous. But Resolve Memories, at the bottom of Resolve Memories, there's MP3 files that'll walk you through. I'll walk you through digesting a memory. I'll walk you through processing, walking through the video of the bad memory, and then I'll walk you through doing a future template using Flash. Okay, so resolvememories.com is where that stuff is at the bottom. All right, it is 11:16. Let's come back in 4 minutes and then we'll practice this. Okay? Come back in 4 minutes and then we'll get started in our practice. All right, welcome back. All right. How are y'all? Are y'all ready? Okay, good. Remember, if this is not painless, stop. Immediately deal with what is distressing using one of the 4 resources. Do not push into distress. Okay, do not push into distress. Okay, do you have your calm scene ready? What we're going to do is we'll do 2 rounds together in the calm scene. Okay, and then I'll have you select the memory you want to work on. And then we'll do another round in the calm scene, and then we'll get going. Okay, so good. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. And when you're there, just give me a nod, give me a thumbs up. Good. Good. Blink. Again, you can blink slowly, close, open, or you can blink twice. Blink, blink. Okay, good. Blink. Good. Go back into your calm scene. Just be there. Blink. Blink. And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Doing all right? Good. Good. Load up your calm scene. Let's do it again. Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, doing all right. Good. Is there a memory you thought you might want to work on today? Is it an individual memory that happened at a particular place and time? And do all parts of you think working on that memory is a good idea today? Check. And if so, push it out of your awareness, blank it out, look at a ceiling, look at a blank wall, blank it out. When it's gone, calm scene. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. Good. Good. Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Good. Excellent. Are you all ready? Okay. So the speed at which you're going to look at the memory the first time is like going to be between the claps. That quick. Okay. You ready? Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, use your hand, send it away. Then when it's gone, calm scene. So be in your calm scene. Use your resources if you need to. Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? How are y'all doing? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. You doing all right? Okay. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment. Catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. So be in your calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? How are y'all doing? Okay. Now's probably a good time to check your body. Make sure no distress from that memory is hanging out in your body. If it is, vacuum it out real quick. Send it away. Good. If you found something, come in on pleasant. Come in on calm scene. Don't activate again. Those of you that didn't find something, think about the memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Otherwise, everybody load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. Good. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? You're doing okay? Okay, good. Lightning fast. Think about think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Good. Good. If you are overactivating, look at the memory much, much faster next time. Okay, good. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Just be in your calm scene. Blink, Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? How are y'all doing? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. You doing okay? If you're struggling, message me. If you don't know what to do, pull down in chat and pull down to Thomas and message me. So, excellent. Yes, if you're overactivating, you got to look at the memory much, 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 much quicker. Okay, good. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Yeah. Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Good. How are y'all doing? Maybe check your body, make sure none of that's hanging out, none of the memories hanging out in your body. If it is, vacuum it out. Good. Excellent. Good. If you didn't find distress, think about the memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Good. Excellent. How are y'all doing? Doing all right? Okay, good. I know we're all tired. We're all tired here. Let's keep going though. We're almost done. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink. blink, blink, and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory. Whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Good. If you're having trouble finding what's distressing in the memory, time to start playing it like a video until you find the first piece of distress, and then digest it, and then keep checking it until it's gone, and then find the next piece. If every time you check the memory, you're finding a lot of activation, it's probably too big of a memory to process today. Okay? So maybe come out if you can, because we're yeah. So very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Good. Good. We're probably going to do this another 10 minutes just to give you a heads up. Okay, good. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory. Whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Just really be in your calm scene. It's your calm scene that's doing the work. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Good. Very quickly. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment. Catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Good. Good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Doing okay, good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Good. Let's see, maybe 3 more rounds. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment. Catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Just be in your calm scene. Blink, 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 and blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? All right, good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment. Catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Let's do one more round. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Blink. 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 And blink. Okay, good. How'd that go? How are y'all doing? I know you only had probably 25 minutes to do this. It may have taken 35 or 40 for your memory to fully resolve. But we just don't have the time. Okay, good. It does make sense to do some type of closure. And with closure, we want to say, you have resources, use them. We know they work, right? We know container works. We know calm scene works. Use it between sessions to take care of yourself. Good. Questions, reactions, or struggles. Some of you struggled. Yeah. What are you noticing?
I have a question.
Yeah, Amber.
Um, so I changed from a beach scene to a funny puppy compilation. Is it okay that the videos kept changing? Like it was like every, 5 seconds it was a new puppy video.
Yeah. How did it work?
My memory is no longer distressing.
Awesome. Good. Yeah, it needs to shift your affective state, right? So as long as it's doing that, it's probably working. Yeah. Yep. You can have long videos, you can have multiple short ones, you can have a mix. Yeah. Good.
It's definitely a lot more fun than EMDR. I've
Yeah.
done both as like a client. It's a lot more fun than EMDR to watch
Yeah.
like puppy videos. I
Yeah.
did get stuck though because I felt like my memory was then like it was kind of attached to like a series of memories.
Yeah.
So I think it was hard to separate out like, okay, I'm just focusing on this one right now. The other
Yeah.
ones felt like they were trying to sneak
hmm
in. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can just say, if we fully resolve this one, we can get to one of those other ones next. But if we let them in, there may never be an end to it. Does that make sense? And we want to resolve things so that generalization can happen. So, also, when memories very strongly want to come, check for body activation because very often your body feeling a certain way, even a little bit, will serve as a magnet for other memories that may want to come. So sometimes memories wanting to come is a clue that body activation from that memory is pulling them like a magnet. So make sure that your body's not a magnet for adjacent memories or a lighter that's accidentally lighting adjacent memories. Yeah.
Yeah, I found some body activation and I was curious for like the shop vac. Is it okay if they, because I felt like I would have wanted like maybe like 20, 30 seconds just to focus on like sucking it all up.
Mhm.
Is that like too much? Is that
Nope.
like risking? Okay.
No, you get out of sync with me in a group. And by the
Yeah.
way, if we're doing it individually, I'm giving you as much time as it takes to shut back. Because the distress in your belly is a problem, right? That we need to be moving away from you before we go forward.
Yeah. Okay. So it's if they take a
Mhm.
while for the shop vac, that's okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guarantee you, next time you look at the memory, I'm going to ask you to look at it 100 times faster.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it really showed up in your body, that's an overactivation. Makes sense? So we got to look at the memory 100 times faster next time to get a much, much smaller piece. And if it doesn't want to come smaller, next time we need to stop and switch the memory to a memory that you can microactivate today. Yeah. Memories don't want to come small. They don't want to be cut into little bitty pieces until we get really, really good at it. And that takes time and practice. Questions?
Um, I put this in the chat earlier, but
Yeah.
I do long-term like EMDR work in my private practice, but I also work in a mental health urgent care and I do short-term therapy with folks, a lot of whom have complex trauma. And I'm wondering if it's ever appropriate to do this work with folks in a shorter term context.
Sure. I mean, I would if I were working in an IOP, if I were working in any inpatient. I mean, if I were working in a prison, if I were working, I mean, I mean, shoot, even if I were still working in the pre-K through sixth grade, where I like started as an EMDR therapist, man, I would have loved to have Flash in that context. Because it kind of was prison-like. You know, that school was pretty, oh, something. So, yeah. So I would, yeah.
Great. I think my worry with EMDR is that I'm worried that like sometimes once you start the EMDR work, people get flooded. And if I'm only seeing people for like 6 sessions,
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
I don't want to risk activating someone and flooding them and then
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah. No, that's a risk.
But
Yeah.
this feels like it could be more.
It's so much, it has less, it's less likely to set your nervous system on fire. And someone asked in chat, can you do Flash in 20 minutes? Sure. Just memories aren't going to resolve 95% of the time in 20 minutes, but you can resolve a memory in 2 sessions pretty reliably. Yeah. 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 So, yeah, challenges. Yeah. Yeah. So if a memory if you can't microactivate the memory, meaning it doesn't want to come in little bitty chunks, it only wants to come like a horse kicking you, we need to stop and find a memory that we can microactivate. Some memories just don't want to come small. And that's okay. It's also good not to if you know if we overactivation is inevitable and it's also a problem. And if we have overactivation, 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 and I'm taking proactive measures to stop that from happening and it keeps happening, I'm going to pivot and do a different memory. It's too big of a memory and we risk all of it becoming trauma. We risk making even our calm scene a trauma trigger, and we don't want that to happen. Yeah. Yeah. Again, I can't stress how the importance of how learning how to microactivate is a skill. You have to practice it. We're therapists. Y'all understand generally the language I'm using, and look how hard it was for you to do it. It's not intuitive. And it's really not intuitive to people who've been swimming in their trauma to only get a drop. That doesn't make sense to them. So it's really, really, really hard. We have to practice it. In exchange for learning how to work in this non-intuitive way, you can heal with remarkably little distress and remarkably little risk of decompensation, but you have to work differently than how you normally do. It's a trade-off. Okay? I can get in United Airlines from Cleveland and I can be in San Francisco in 4 hours. Okay? But I can't smoke. Right? And I don't get to stop in San Francisco and in St. Louis just because I'm flying over it. Right? So depending on how you travel, it's got certain rules. Does that make sense? And one of the rules in Flash is we have to microactivate and we have to, if we want to process a memory, we gotta understand what we're doing and we have to travel according to the rules of that method of travel. Yeah. Good. Questions? How can you learn more? In the very back of the treatment guide, page, hold on. Steps you can take to learn more, page 29. If you want to train with Phil Manfield, who developed the original version of Flash, you can do that at flashtechnique.com. If you want to train with Ricky Greenwald, you can do that at Ricky Greenwald's Institute. The link for that is there. Okay. If you want to join the Flash Sandbox, which is a Facebook group, you're welcome to do that. The link to it is there. There's a couple thousand people there that have taken this training. And there's some really good Flash therapists there who can answer your question probably faster than I can. Okay. And at the very bottom of page 29, there's a link to the free Flash consultation groups. I do free consultation in Flash twice a month that you can come to. Okay. I also do a Flash practice group almost every week where we can do what you just did. We can practice Flash together and work on your trauma for free as a therapist. You don't send your clients there, but you can come here as a therapist. You can come, right? And do some Flash in a group. Okay. So that's how you can do that on, free resources. You can come back to this training anytime you want and retake it. Sometimes you have to retake things, especially, it looks like George may be the only one here that still got daylight. The rest of us are suffering. So you're probably, are you in Australia? Are you
Yeah, it's about 2:30 in the afternoon here.
Yeah. So maybe you come to a Flash training that starts at 3 o'clock p.m. or noon, right? So that it can maybe we can meet each other when we're all awake. So yeah, but come back. If you don't see your clients resolving whatever they target in a single session 95% of the time in Flash, come back. I'll work with you until you do. I'll work with you endlessly and for free until you do. Okay. Awesome. Any other questions? All right. All right. I will send an email around because there are probably 25 people that signed up that aren't here. So I'm going to send the email around for the video. So you'll see that should you want to watch that at some point. All right, everybody. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming. It's been nice seeing everybody. Come back. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
So much.
Bye-bye. Take care.